Say, man, finally, NBA YoungBoy has gotten all of his legal troubles wrapped up in a big burrito, presented to a judge, and pleads guilty, man. Let's get to the content.
NBA YoungBoy is out of the Cache County Jail on a $100,000 bond. The 24-year-old, whose real name is Kentrell Galden, is facing dozens of charges accusing him of being involved in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring. Now, he'd been held in jail for almost a month since his arrest. YoungBoy agreed to waive a preliminary hearing to get a chance to make bail. His arraignment is set for July 1st, where they're expecting him to enter a plea deal.
I understand that perhaps there's going to be a change of plea today. Is that correct?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. Would you go ahead and please state for the record what the plea agreement is that has been reached with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. It is anticipated that my client will be entering guilty pleas to counts 2 through 7, count 13, count 16, count 19, and count 22. And there are other parameters to this agreement. Would you like me to put those on the record now?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, it's anticipated that he will enter those pleas as charged. In other words, identity fraud as a third-degree felony with 2 counts, forgery as a third-degree felony, 2 counts, 6 counts of pharmacy fraud, which would be those count 4.
And that's a Class A misdemeanor.
And those are all Class A misdemeanors. There are 6 of those. And all of those the counts I just recited the ends are all the pharmacy fraud cases. We are asking the court to waive time for sentencing. I have some specific requests as it relates to sentencing about the language, but the agreement is that my client will pay a $25,000 fine to the court. And Your Honor, I have a cashier's check in hand. I'm holding it now that I would like to publish to the court at the end of this. Upon payment of that, the state has agreed to a 402 reduction for each of those 4 felony counts. They would all be reduced to Class A misdemeanors, and the case would close at that point in time.
With credit for time served?
No credit for time served, and that has to do with his pending federal sentencing and an anticipated sentence within the Bureau of Prisons. So what we're asking is for the court to give no credit for any time served and to simply close the case.
All right. Mr. Galden, have you had enough time to speak to your attorneys about this decision to enter into this plea bargain?
Yes.
Have they gone over with you the rights that you would be waiving by accepting this plea bargain and entering no contest pleas and being sentenced today and having this case closed?
Yes.
Do you understand that a no contest plea has the same effect as a guilty plea in a lot of ways? The court will sentence someone on a no contest plea the same as it would a guilty plea, although you would still be maintaining your innocence. You would acknowledge that the government has sufficient evidence to meet each and every element of the charges that you would be pleading no contest to.
Yes.
Mr. Galden, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Are you on any medications right now?
No.
Are you thinking clearly today and understanding everything that's happening in court?
Yes.
Has anybody forced you or coerced you to get you to accept this plea bargain?
No.
Are you pleading no contest today because you believe that the government does have sufficient evidence to be able to, Mr. Galden, to the charge of identity fraud, a third-degree felony, 2 separate counts? How do you plead to both of those charges, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
To the charge of forgery, a third-degree felony, 2 separate counts, both of those being third-degree felonies. How do you plead to those 2 charges?
No contest.
To the charge of pharmacy fraud, a Class A misdemeanor, 6 separate counts. How do you plead to each 6 of those charges?
No contest.
The court finds that you have knowingly and voluntarily entered your no contest pleas. I've signed the statement of defendant and will now enter that into the record. You have the right to be sentenced in not less than 2 days and not more than 45 days. It's my understanding that you would like to waive time for sentencing and be sentenced today. Is that correct, Mr. Galden?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hear first today from Mr. Williams or any of his other attorneys. I think I understand, based on the negotiated settlement, that the attorneys with the state and with Mr. Galden agreed to ordering that he pay a fine in the amount of $25,000.
Correct.
And that once that's been paid, which you do have a cashier's check, that the court reduced the 4 felony charges pursuant to 76-3-402 down to 4 Class A misdemeanors, and that then the court should just close his case.
That's correct, Your Honor. And unless the court has any questions of me, I'm happy to submit if the court's comfortable with that.
I am comfortable with that. I don't have any questions, but I will give you a chance if you'd like to state anything further for the record.
Your Honor, just procedurally, I understand that it does take time for minute entries to be updated. I, as I indicated, have a cashier's check in the amount of $25,000. In fact, Mr. Keller has been kind enough to, it was mailed to his office, hold that for a couple of weeks for us. I'm asking the court to enter that order, reducing those now and closing the case, anticipating that I can give this to some court staff before I leave.
Sure.
So as if we're treating it as if it's been paid, I'm holding it now. I just don't know who to give it to.
Okay. Angie, how long does that? On the way down? Yeah. All right,
will
so
do
after
that.
we're done with the sentencing here today, you can just go down to the front counter and pay that fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further that his counsel online need to put on the record? I think I understand the global resolution, but if you'd like to put anything further on the record, you can do so now.
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the state, Mr. Keller?
The state will submit based on that stipulated agreement. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Galden, the court is going to impose a fine in the amount of $25,000 and order you to pay that today. It does appear that you do have a cashier's check in that amount now. And so based upon the stipulation between the state of Utah and Mr. Galden, the court will reduce his 4 felony counts on the identity fraud and the forgery down 1 step to Class A misdemeanors pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-402. And your case will close. Now, the reason that the court is willing to sentence you to just the fine and then closing the case, Mr. Galden, is because it's been represented to me that there is a global resolution between federal prosecutors and state prosecutors whereby you will be serving a substantial amount of time in federal prison, apparently 27 months, and after which 60 months of supervised probation, where you'll be monitored to make sure that you're doing well in your active recovery and that you are staying out of trouble and not having any dangerous weapons, including firearms, in your possession. Mr. Galden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Galden.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, to all of the NBA YoungBoy fans, to be clear, this is not just the Utah case where they had the defrauding the pharmacy situation going on, where they was running a whole scam, trying to act like they was old people, calling and defrauding the pharmacy to get prescription drugs and promethazine. This is not just that Utah case specific. This is also the cases that he had in Louisiana when he was shooting the music video and they had the guns. That case is what sent him to Utah to begin with. You dig what I'm saying? So this is everything. To let the fans know, this is everything. This is all of his legal trouble that's been keeping him away from the world and keeping him away from fans and doing shows. This is everything. So and also his attorney said, look, we're not asking for no time served. Y'all can waive the time served. We going to the Fed to do 27 months to the door. You dig what I'm saying? And if they let him out early, cool. If they don't, they don't. But he got 27. Nope, don't disregard any kind of time served. We going 27 months to the door in the Feds, $25,000 fine, and 60 months on probation. You dig what I'm saying? About 5 years. So this is everything. He got a sweet deal. He got a better deal than Thug. You dig what I'm saying? He got a way better deal, a way sweeter deal than Thug. So this is the ABC 4 out of Utah. Rapper NBA YoungBoy entered the Logan City courtroom on Monday morning, November the 18th, with his head hung low as he pleaded guilty to his part in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring that he operated out of his multi-million-dollar home in Huntsville. You dig what I'm saying? On Monday, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of third-degree felony identity fraud, 2 counts of third-degree felony forgery, and 6 counts of misdemeanor unlawful pharmacy conduct. Golden entered a no contest plea to the remaining charges. And also, he was in pretty good. He was in pretty good spirit about the whole situation. Drew Finley, he was on the line. He had about 2 or 3 different attorneys speaking on his behalf. And one of the attorneys, I think his name was Keller. He had some other stuff to say, but the read-on go on to say this. As part of a plea deal, Golden will not be asked to serve time in Utah State Prison. Instead, his 4 felony charges were reduced to Class A misdemeanors, and he was ordered to pay a $25,000 fine. Logan District Judge Spencer Walsh agreed to suspend a prison sentence as Golden is expected to serve a substantial 27 months in federal prison for related charges in a federal case. Following his release, Golden will then be placed on 5 years of federal supervised probation. And Keller went on to say this. This is somewhat a unique case where there have been multiple jurisdictions involved, both multiple jurisdictions in the federal and the state systems. Says State Prosecutor Ronnie Keller. This is just part, really a small cog in a bigger wheel of ultimately seeking justice. So YoungBoy paid out a whole bunch of money, man, to come to this resolution. I don't know if he could have or would have done it sooner. Maybe it would have been better for the overall, the overall resolution. But all in all, man, he caught sweet. You dig what I'm saying? He been bogged down for a while now, man, for the last several years, bro. Out there in the middle of nowhere in Utah, GPS tracker, ankle monitor, not being able to go nowhere, do no shows or nothing, bro. You dig what I'm saying? So finally he get to go do this 27 months, pay his $25,000 fine. And again, he's another one. He got 5 years of federal probation. So he got to walk a tightrope. All that pill popping and showing them drugs and weed and all of that, bro, on why you doing music videos and why you on live and getting on the internet, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna work. So he got to get his mind right in these 27 months. And I say the same thing about him that I said about Young Thug. You got to understand the accountability part of this. You got to understand the catastrophic circumstances that you in and how that can potentially help your hurt your future moving forward. So he got a lot riding on this. You dig what I'm saying? No doubt he done spend a lot of money on this. So now he get to go, do his time, get it all over with, finally get back out here in the world, man, and chase that bag. And the ticket gonna be real high. He got the opportunity to make a hell of a lot of money when he get out on shows. I'm sure they gonna allow him to be able to do that as he is a artist. And you heard the judge there. Hey, man, I hope for the best. I seen a lot of people with a lot of talent come before me. You seem to be one of those people, and they lose it all behind, getting involved in drugs, be it selling drugs or drug addiction. But you got a bright future. go take it on the chin, come back out, and get back to your career. And I wish you the best of success. You dig what I'm saying? And I do too, man. I get at y'all on the next one. Y'all be smooth. I'm out.